So, yeah, here we go. We're on air. Yay, we did it. Yay, fist bump, man.
Fist bump.
Yeah, this is a long time in the making. We've actually, I don't know, this is actually one of the things I wanted to talk about was that you actually had an idea for this way back before anybody had ideas for this stuff. I built my volleyball court in like 98, and that's we just kind of started hanging out, and we were playing volleyball. You may not remember this. We were playing volleyball one night, and we remember we used to get like 20, 30 people over. It was always just
It was a blast.
It was so fun. And you said one night, you're like, we need to get cameras and put them up on the roof, and we need to broadcast this.
Hell yeah. Live action volleyball Sunday night.
Yeah. And back in 98, internet, I may have still been on dial-up. I mean, I don't know. It was rough back then.
Yeah.
So, but I remember saying, that would be so cool. And we actually kicked it around like what we could do. And eventually it died because, technology really wasn't there. But that was kind of our first talking about doing something like this. And then kind of fast forward to, I'm not sure what year it was. I'd left Intuit and where we used to work together. And I was going to the coffee shop every day with my dogs.
2007.
Yeah, right around
like
2007, yeah, I think. And then I'd go there every day, walk there about 4 miles, cowboy boots, hat, and just...
That little
computer
thing you
the
had.
little Asus,
that little
Triple E PC is what it was called. Yes, and I think it was great. And I work on my little screen plays with the dog, and you'd come there 2 or 3 times a week and hang out with me. And I remember we were joking about it then. We're like, we should do something with this. We have so much fun doing this, just hanging out and talking. We should, And so we were thinking about it in 2007, 8 too.
Yeah.
And so this isn't really like a new idea for us. We've just always had a good time hanging out and bullshitting.
Absolutely. And like you said before in our friendship, we met in 1994-ish. I was trying to think about that earlier. I moved out here in 93. I met you sometime between January of 93 in 94, right?
Yeah.
And we've been friends since. We've gone our ways. We've come back together.
Yep.
And every time it could be months and months and months without even saying hi.
Right.
But whenever we do reconnect, it's like we didn't ever part.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
it's like we're brothers.
Like that. Yeah.
And everyone thinks we're brothers.
I sent that picture of your wife and you in Washington, D.C. It has the wall. It had my father's name on it.
Yeah,
I sent it to our family thread.
Oh, that's cool.
Right when you sent it.
Yeah.
Right when you guys sent it. And I sent it to our family thread because, my father's name.
Yeah.
And one of my sisters, I have 5 of them, said, man, he kind of looks like you, Kevin. I'm like, we've been getting that for 30 years.
Yeah. I remember getting yelled at.
I'm the older, better looking one.
Yeah, the older by about 9 or 10 months.
Yeah.
It's about, we're both born in 66, but you're at the beginning, I was at the end.
Yeah.
But we, what was I saying about that? We used to go to that same club, country dance all the time. And I remember being in there a couple of times, but one, I had somebody really yelling at me one night, pissed off. You didn't call me. And I'm looking at this person. I'm like, I have no idea who this is because I'm thinking, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And then I'm realizing I don't think I know you. And finally I said, do you think by the way, this is Kevin, because since we're new to this, I said, do you think I'm
This
Kevin?
is Ron.
Captain Ron.
Yeah. Triple C.
And she looked at me all like, kind of like Larry David, like the Larry David. Yeah. And she's like, oh.
I don't know what he's talking about.
She's like, and I'm like, sorry. And then she just kind of wandered off. And I know you told me the same thing. People came up to you and thought, and I'm like, Kevin's like 6'4", 6'5". I'm 5'10" at the most.
Bro, and it's not even, it's just outside in the community, right? I've had that a few times, like, I know you. And it's like, it's not me. It's my buddy Ron. Oh, okay. Well, he looks just like you. I'm like, yes, he does.
Yeah. I remember going to a sandwich shop after a job once because you were helping me on my pool work.
Yeah.
And I remember we were ordering some food, and the girl was like, oh, you guys must be brothers. And you said something like, heck yeah, we're brothers. We're brothers under or something. I forget what I said. But yeah, we've been getting it forever. Yeah. And honestly, I know my brothers probably wouldn't be watching this anyways, but I have 2 brothers, and you're by far and away more of a brother to me than those 2 knuckleheads have ever been. So
yeah. I mean, it's been a friendship that's we've seen all kinds of different storms in our lives. This guy right here, Ron, I've lived with him probably 5 times.
I think so.
5 different times. And
Yes.
all I can tell people is like, remember how you would like monitor how much something's in your cabinets, how many ramen soups, why is there
sound like
missing,
me at all.
who drank my soda. I'm like, God dang, that dude monitors everything, man. This is before cameras were around even.
The first place we lived together, I came home from, I had made a big, the only thing I really knew how to make after, because the first time I'd been on my own, was a tuna casserole that I'd learned from my dad or mom. And I'd made one the night before. And I put it in the fridge. I worked all day. I came home thinking, oh, I can't wait to eat that. And it was gone. I'm like, God.
And I don't even know if that's really true, if that even happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It goes way. Actually, I remember after you had moved out of that place, I came home one night because you were supposed to go into Texas or something. I came home, and I got up early to go to work the next morning, like 4 a.m. I went to get my truck, and I heard like banging around in the bed. I go, what the hell? I look, and you were asleep in the bed of the truck. Do you remember that? It was freezing cold. You were supposed to stay at a friend's house that you knew, and then you were going to Texas, and something happened with the friend, and you came to my house. You didn't want to wake me up, you said. So you slept in the back of my truck, and it was cold that night. And I was like, why didn't you wake me up? You're like, I don't know.
We weren't the smartest tools in the shed.
No.
Right?
We've been all over the place with crazy
we've been
stuff.
all over the place, been friends. Now we're both married, and
I know
life is better.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I honestly, people that knew us, in 97, 98, saying, oh, look at Kevin and Ron. They're both old married guys and complaining they're tired and they don't want to go do stuff. I mean, they'd be anybody that knew us then would be shocked that that's where we're at. But yeah, it's way better. I mean, I wouldn't, those days were fun. We had our wild times, I wouldn't do it now. I feel like I've kind of seen the light in a lot of ways.
I have zero interest in a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's a different chapter in our lives.
Exactly.
And now we're in a new chapter in our lives.
Yeah. I don't, my thinking is on that. I don't think you have to look at stuff like, we weren't breaking the law or anything. We were just staying up late and dancing and drinking a little and, the stuff you do when you're late 20s, early 30s. Yeah. I don't think we weren't bad people. We were
Absolutely
just a little wild, but but like you said, that's not a place I ever want to go. We talk about going out and dancing once in a while. I have to try to really plan for it because staying up past 8 o'clock at night is hard for me now. I don't know about you because you get up early for your job.
I get up early, but that means I want to go to bed early, right?
Right.
So my wife as well has been hinting because you guys. Once in a blue moon, we'll go to a place here in town, and have a little time, like eat lunch, maybe do some dancing, right? Yeah. And so my wife is interested in doing that. Yeah. And of course, here I am. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of outdone with that stuff and blah blah blah. I don't even have any cowboy boots anymore.
You don't?
No.
Oh wow.
But I have a pair that I've been watching on eBay for the last 6 months that I haven't purchased. So I think, we might, once I pull the trigger on getting the boots, I think that's the first step in getting out the 2-step with my wife and you guys.
And you got to do it.
And just like enjoy, we had a talk earlier here in the house and we can't give up because of where we are in our ages.
You got to fight through some of that stuff.
We have to do some, we have to keep it fun, right?
Yeah.
So for me personally, I just have to kind of just wake that sleeping giant and just start doing more things with my wife and friends, right? And it's too early in my life to stop enjoying it. Right?
Early on, when we were first together, going out, I didn't really want to do it, and honestly, it was because I don't know. There was a movie. It was called Apt Pupil. It was an old movie a while back with the guy that played Gandalf, Ian McClellan, I think is his name, and some young guy.
This guy knows movies.
Yeah, and it was about this kid who. He was just like a high school kid, and he kind of befriended this old man that lived by himself and got to know him. And then by accident, he found that this guy, he found like an old something that made him think this guy was like an old German guy. And so he started doing research, and he realized this guy was like a Nazi, but he'd been living secretly in the United States all this time. So he blackmails him and says, I won't tell anybody, but you got to start doing stuff. And he's like, oh. So he goes on someplace, he buys like an authentic Nazi uniform and and he forces the guy to put it on. And this guy was like super nice and mellow. He put the Nazi uniform on, and it flipped a switch in, and he got like kind of crazy and Nazi again. And he ended up, I forget exactly how it ends now. If anybody wanted to see it, I don't want to ruin it anyways. But it was called Apt Pupil, and because this kid was all fascinated with Nazis, but this guy was done with it. But by kind of bringing him out, like he I don't know. I remember that movie when we were first together. She wanted to go out. I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do that. I don't want to like put on the boots and hat and like feel like I want to like be crazy.
Wake
again.
up that robot.
Yes,
right?
I'm done with that. I don't want to go back to that. But now I'm like so old now, and everything hurts. It's like I don't really care. It's like that's like my feet hurt all the time. I've got I've got a torn ligament in one foot. I've got a swollen foot on on the other side that I'm having an MRI next week. You get like almost 60 and everything just is falling apart. So it's,
my way of kind of getting through life without any ailments is not to go to the doctor.
right? Yeah. You can come out worse.
And my wife is not happy with some of my choices, but I'd rather just I'm going to figure it out. I'll just walk through it or whatever, because we all have things, right? We all have things. Yeah. So I just figure, for me personally, it's like if the less I know, the better off I am, right?
Sometimes it's not bad.
I didn't know if you were trying to call me a Nazi or something.
No. I'm saying I didn't want to like that movie was ticking in my mind when I'm thinking about, well, I'm married now. I'm done with that life. Yeah. I don't want to like put on like my Nazi uniform, if you will, my hat and boots, and then like have some like, oh, I really do miss this thing. I never thought that would happen, but it's like, why go there? I just didn't see any reason to,
real quick, piggyback on that, and then whatever you want to talk about. But my thing is like, and again, we talked earlier in your house with your wife, and it's like, maybe it would be different for us, you and I, right? Because we have our spouses now, and it would be a whole a new type of fun out. Yeah. Right. I mean, we're different. I don't drink. You don't drink.
Right.
You might have a beer or something. But,
that's if that.
And then looking across at the camera here, she's like, that's a good.
Well,
idea.
who wants? I mean,
and my wife is the same. Yeah. She would say this. She would be doing the same thing. Well, she wants to enjoy.
Yeah. But who? I mean, I've had plenty of like morning afters without even getting like drunk hardly, just drinking more than maybe I should have, where you're like the whole next day is kind of ruined.
Yeah, no, I can't.
You feel awful.
Like literally anymore. Like we'll go out to dinner, and very rarely will I have a cocktail because no one else at the table is drinking. Maybe my father-in-law.
Not to mention they're like $12 if you get some little thing.
And it's like as soon as I have a sip, I can instantly in my neck, the base of my head, I start feeling a headache before I even finish one drink. So I'm at a limit now. I don't even know what that means, but
that's where I felt when I had my subarachnoid brain hemorrhage.
Yeah, and ever since then, Ron, it's like ever since I get a headache or I get this tightness, I'm like, okay. Ron said, "This is how it all began." Yeah. Ron almost died.
Yeah, almost died. 2016, I think it was. Yeah, the year after I got married. Yeah, just sitting on the computer. Everyone had just left for school and work. Like literally, like 10 minutes before that, I think 15. And I'm like on the computer, and I'm like, ooh, like base of my neck. Yeah. And then, I thought, oh wow, it's getting worse. And I went to like get some. Something for like headaches. And by the time I got partway through the hall, I was on the ground like crawling. And the blood it had blown a gasket going all over my brain. That was awful. That was a month or so before I started kind of feeling okay. A couple of 4 or 5 days in ER. But they said no deficits, and the doctors seemed pretty shocked that I came out of it okay. I mean, there's some weird things that still bother me. Yeah. I still have like mini versions of this thing. Again, it was called a subarachnoid brain hemorrhage, where we can't figure out exactly what triggered. Sometimes I think I've got it figured out, and then other times it's like, well, that doesn't make sense because I did the same thing and I didn't feel bad. But there are some days where I start getting a woozy headache, and it's almost like a hangover. Yeah. It's like a mini version of when it was really, and it was. On a scale of 1 to 10, it was like a 20, like pain. I wanted to die. I really did. But I get these mini ones now, and I at first I thought it was just from the humidity and working outside and because I feel crappy later. And then I start feeling sick to my stomach, and then like for about 12 hours, I'm kind of useless. I just feel like So it's still, I still have some leftover remnants of it, and it's been like, well, this January is 10 years, which is amazing.
10 years ago?
It's been 10 years since I had that.
Oh my God.
That thing. So, and they said it can happen to anybody. They said I was like in the right age. I was 48.
Yeah.
I was sort of like in that right age range, and mostly men, they said, but women do have it too. But so they just said, we don't know why. And they didn't do anything. They just stuck like a little wire up inside me, a rhino thing or something. I forget what they called that. And just to check around, and that's how they knew for sure I had a bleed. But they actually didn't do anything. They gave me a lot of like really heavy duty pain meds, which actually made things worse because you know, you can't like use the bathroom. You're all backed up, and it was a horrible experience. But they there's, if you look it up, there's really like no specific thing that causes it. It can just happen like that.
Yeah, ever since that happened, I'm like, every time I get a headache, I'm like, oh, okay, don't think about it. Don't think about it.
I do too. It's hard not to go there after you've had it, but I figure if it's going to get me, it's going to get me. You know what's cool though, and I think you've gotten there. I was, my little spiritual journey was interesting. I was never anti-God or what. I just was sort of, you know, I grew up with it. We went to church once in a while, and then, but it was never like hardcore stuff, you know, or we never even, it's weird because I have so many family members growing up, my grandmas, that were hardcore. They were always in church. They had 100 Bibles. They knew it, but they never talked about it. Like, it's weird. That was how it was for me. And so I kind of grew up like, yeah, I know there's this dude Jesus, but I didn't know anything about it really. And so as I became like an adult and 18, 19, and eventually ended up on my own, you know, I always believed in God, but I never put any effort into it. I always thought I'm a pretty capable guy. I don't need any help with anything. I'm doing everything on my own. And that's how I rolled for a long time.
Lots of years.
Yeah. You know, except when I was flying on airplanes. Then I get friendly with God again for a couple hours.
Isn't it amazing how the only time we call on God is when we need His help?
Yes. It was crazy. Right? And so that's how it was until, you know, I had a little problem with my business. I think you remember that.
Yeah.
And I ended up having to get a lawyer. And it was, I just woke up one day like, I was just over 40, and it felt like the world was going crazy on me. And I have this idiotic roommate that I'm living with.
It wasn't me, it was someone else.
No, a different guy. Different guy at this point. And I'm like, you know, I had a couple of, you know, relationships that never went anywhere. And I was by myself at that point and actually okay with it. But all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're like, I'm like super alone. And I didn't feel like I had anybody I could really talk to about this particular situation. My parents lived in Missouri, and it just, I didn't even really feel like I could really talk to them about it. It was like, and I felt crazy. And I sat, my mom had just given me this really old Bible of my grandma's, and it was sitting by my bed. It was literally, I had nowhere else to go that night.
It's the best feeling.
And I started reading the Bible from the beginning.
It's the best.
Yeah. I just started reading. I read it for like an hour or two that night. I prayed for like an hour or two. You know, It's a Wonderful Life. You remember that movie?
Oh yeah.
I had like my bridge moment where he's standing out there. He's like, you know, at the end, tell me what to do. Just point me in the right direction. That's kind of how I was that night. I was like, and I don't know if I told you this, but so like the next day I go to work and I'm thinking about, I'm coming home now from work.
Wait, didn't you get a Bible in the mailbox once?
Yeah, that's a whole different story. We'll tell that one a different time.
Inside joke.
Yeah, we'll have to go there on a different day. But yes, I did. Actually, yes, it was just handed.
That's how great God is.
It was hand delivered to my old
God
roommate.
is great.
Yes,
God is great.
But so, you know, I'm asking for a sign the night before. You know, help me. Just point me in the right direction. Don't like, you don't have to solve everything. Just help me figure out what I need to do. And so I'm driving home on Broadway, and I'm at a light, and I look up, and there's this giant like billboard with an ex-girlfriend of mine who's a lawyer, and you know she was doing some kind of weird stuff, you know, like women stuff. If this breaks,
all women run office.
It was weird. Yeah. So you know, she was almost, you know, I don't know what you call it, you know, like if you had a surgery that went wrong, you know, she would
bus chaser,
try to get money.
Accident chaser.
Yeah. And I thought, and I laughed because it was like this giant head of this girl I used to date. And I thought, I'm chuckling a little bit to myself. I'm like, oh, man, I need a laugh, I guess. And so I go through the intersection, I'm kind of seeing it, and I'm thinking, I'm still thinking, just show me a sign. I said it again to myself, and I'm like,
That was a sign.
I'm like, wait a minute. That's literally a sign, like
Here's your
a
sign.
giant sign. Yeah. Yeah. So I thought, no, because I was pretty rough in the 90s with that. If I didn't like somebody after I was with them for a while, I just fired them and moved on. And I remembered not being particularly kind with her at that time. So I thought, no, she wouldn't even talk to me. But so I go home and I'm just stressing about everything still. And I'm sitting there and I just thought, well, what do I got to lose? If I just call and she says, go away, whatever. So I was like, finally I taught myself into calling. And I got somebody on the phone, a receptionist, and then she says, oh yeah, hang on a second. Because I said, I'm a friend of hers. I just want to, and she gets on the phone with me and she's all happy to hear from me, like excited. And I kind of gave her an idea what was going on. She goes, just come to my office tomorrow and we'll talk about it. I'm like, oh, okay. So immediately I felt better. I'm like, oh, well, I'm kind of going in the right direction. So I go down there. We have this good conversation. She's totally being, which I'm shocked at because I'm thinking she had to just hate me.
Yeah.
And so we're all done. She's going to help me with my situation. And I said to her before I left, I'm like, I have to say something because I said, I kind of thought you probably wouldn't even talk to me because, it's been a long time and I didn't think, and she's like, she didn't even know what I was talking about. At least that's what she said. And I thought, oh, okay. So I walked out and I'm thinking, maybe there's something to this praying stuff, I'm like, what just happened here? I was like shocked. I mean, I'm not out of the woods yet, but it's like, I'm feeling better. It's like I have like hope, now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sure enough, over the course of a week or two, she handled everything and it got resolved. And it was like the weight of the world came off of me. And I remember she wouldn't even take any money. She wanted nothing for it. I think I sent her like some flowers, I'm like, I can't thank you enough because this was so awful. And that was it, and I could have done probably what a lot of people do, which is just go right back to how I was. But that profoundly, it humbled me to like literally my knees, that little experience. And I felt so alone. Then all of a sudden I didn't. It was like, I do have somebody looking out after me. And I never stopped praying. I started praying. The only prayer I ever knew growing up was that now I lay me down to sleep one. So I've still every night, I've said it every night before I go to sleep. And that's like changed my life,
The only prayer I use is the Lord's Prayer, straight from Matthew.
Yeah.
Because Jesus says, don't pray anything other than just pray this. Keep it simple. Don't be standing at the walls, banging your head, as they do over there. Just keep it simple. Here's what you say. I'm telling you exactly what to say.
Right.
Every morning,
You can't go
driving
wrong.
to work.
Right.
It covers everything.
It covers everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So
No, well, I tell you,
we still don't give them enough time, though. We don't give them enough time. He gives us everything. We don't give them but 2 seconds a day.
I know. And it hits me sometimes still, even though I am like completely different than I was prior to that situation. But yeah, there are times where I still get a little busy sometimes, and it's like, oh, don't forget. There's a reason this is going good for you. You got to be thankful and keep that conversation going all the time. But yeah, everything changed for me after that. I was living in the house that I owned. I was still single, and I was working a job I didn't like. It wasn't bad, but I just didn't care for it. And so
you've been there forever.
Yeah. Well, this one I had moved on to. I was there about 2 years.
Oh, that's the medical. The other one. Okay.
Yeah. The QA thing I was doing. So, but next thing I know, I go in to get some insurance, and I run into a girl I had known earlier that I'd seen off and on for a little bit, and it just for various reasons it didn't end up panning out. I ran into her again 10 years later, and within 6 months we're married.
Yeah.
And we get a new house, and I've got 3 kids, and my life has completely changed. And I don't know what else to attribute that to other than just being humble and asking for help and showing me how to think basically better. And my life, I mean, everything in life, ever since I worked into it, I think of debits and credits. There's if you're doing this thing, you're giving up something else. If you're doing that, you're giving up this. So you get married, you're giving up your single life, and there's things with that you don't do anymore or whatever. But
and
it's-
vice versa.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So
I mean, but honestly, there's nothing that I would want to flip back. It feels
absolutely not.
yeah. You just especially when you're younger, it's a little different. But I was like in early 40s, when things kind of went sideways. By the time I got married, I was 48. But it was almost perfect position for me at that point. But it and that's why when I was thinking about doing like a YouTube thing or whatever, I was like, well, what should I call it? So I thought, how do I sort of see myself now? Like, what are if I was gonna, somebody said name 3 things that you are.
Right.
I came up with 3 things that had C in it. And so I decided to call it, because I think ranch just sounds cool. So like Triple C Ranch is the name, which is I'm conservative, I'm a Christian, and I've always been a cowboy.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, that's like perfect.
Yeah.
So people have asked me what is that, and I'm like, so that's what it is. And you actually are the same. You're a conservative Christian cowboy too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when I thought about doing
Not so much cowboy as much anymore, although I do still appreciate the music and
it's more like
the lifestyle.
Yeah, I think cowboy is like something that's just in you,
Yeah.
You just, because cowboy to me isn't necessarily you're just riding horses around.
It
all
represents America, right?
Yeah,
it represents
exactly.
hardworking.
Yes.
It represents getting your hands dirty.
Right. Doing
It
what you
represents
say.
not getting anything for free.
Right.
Right.
Go out and earn
It represents moral value.
Yep.
Right. It's proud to fly the American flag.
Yep.
All that good stuff.
Yeah,
So
just like-
believing in the Lord above, and all that good stuff. So
Well, just like somebody, like what is an American? We have a lot of citizens that people have became citizens, but they're not American.
and a lot that haven't become citizens.
Yes.
Or what are they called now? Immigrants.
Yeah. Well, there's, the big thing right now. One of my guys I like a lot. I don't know if you've watched this guy. His name's Matt Walsh, younger guy, married, Christian, very conservative. He talks a lot about the Somali problem, where they basically taken over Minnesota, and there's like close to a couple 100,000 of them there now, and they are not. And he got in an argument online with people about this because he said they weren't American. Yeah, he didn't say they weren't citizens, because some of them have been, they've been born here now.
Yes.
But they're not American, because all they talk about is their home country and recreating it here. This hellhole that they lived in, they wanted here, which makes no sense to me. But they're not American. They're citizens. Some of them aren't still, but it's. You should see some of the neighborhoods in Minnesota, like juxtaposed against like 20, 30 years ago to now. They're just slums. They look like Somalia.
You just have to look at their leadership in Minnesota to understand that.
Yeah.
I was talking to a gentleman at work yesterday who's a client, and we were talking about Europe, and because he's European, and he's like, it's the same thing as like right now, like in Greece, it's like the Somalians.
Yeah.
Like this everywhere, right?
They're in Greece.
It's kind of destroying. I mean, I don't want to say destroying, but what they're bringing their culture to a new country, right?
They're not coming to assimilate and become like part of us.
They're bringing their culture and imploding it over here, right?
Yeah.
And we had the same issue, or we have the same concerns with Michigan, with the Islamic, the Muslim, beliefs coming across and all that. So
well, and we've even got one, that Ilhan Omar woman that's in Congress. She's Somali.
That's that AOC person?
No, that's a different one. That's another nut job.
Okay.
No, this is one. She wears a turban. She's all Somali. She has come out and said that that's her home country. She has said that she is representing Somalia. That she's their voice.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, this is America, so
yes, I don't know how these people. It'd be nice if they just made new laws about that. Because she wasn't even born here. She was brought here, and she's a United States, not even like a state congressman. She's a United States congressperson.
So aren't there laws on your birth?
No, just president. I think. I think you don't
how
have
did
to.
Obama get that then?
A lot of weird stuff with them these days. Him and
I can hear the handcuffs clicking already.
Well, they're tracking them down right now with all this Russiagate stuff. So that's
it's blowing up.
Yeah,
blowing up.
But because there's presidential immunity, he's probably going to skate, him and Clinton, because they're actually investigating Clinton now with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff.
Yeah.
So they're probably, but that's different. Clinton can get in trouble for that. But Obama with, he can but all of his little cronies,
Yeah.
they're not safe. They don't have pardons.
No.
And Pam Bondi is looking at that right now. So yeah, it's an interesting time right now.
Yeah.
It's, we were both born in '66. So for me, decade wise, I don't think it's close. In my lifetime, the '70s were like my favorite decade. It was just everyone seemed happier, and we used to ride our bikes to the park down the street, and it felt safe, and there wasn't chaos, and there was black people in the world, but it didn't seem like everybody hated each other and was like so split up like we are now. It was just really, and most of the '80s, I would say, were still pretty
for
cool.
me it was '70s and '80s for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
without a doubt.
I feel bad for like kids being born now. It's like there's whole sections of this country that are being eradicated with this third world country crap that are never going to know that. I was listening to a song the other day, a Diamond Rio song about, I think it was the Meet in the Middle song, and it's just about
in the middle.
Yes, yeah. I'm like, it kind of made me sad in a way, because I was thinking that's been America for so long.
Yeah.
Like you're just on a couple people out in the country, like each other. They're gonna like meet on a dirt road. It's all that like Americana kind of stuff. I almost feel like it's going extinct a little bit with. Thank God we got Trump in there. He's working his ass off to reset things.
I think it's getting slowly reset. I think things are coming around. Hopefully, in the next 4 years, we'll have something that resembles better times for us all.
Yeah,
right?
they're doing a lot of stuff. I think that'll help, and I think, again, going back to the '80s, Ronald Reagan. I just missed it. You probably got to vote for him. I missed getting a vote
Not
for
that
Ronald
old.
Reagan.
I was in high school when he got shot.
Were you?
Yeah.
Where was I when he got? I don't remember.
But I graduated in '84. What year did you graduate?
'85. Oh, you
85.
graduated the year before me?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again, I was born in November. You're born in January of '66.
Yeah.
So Ronald Reagan, he'd already beaten Carter, and I think that was '76, and so '80. I think was it 80 when he ran the second time? I'm getting it screwed up now. Anyways, you have to be 18 to vote, and I think the election was like on the 4th, and my birthday was on the 9th. So I remember I missed getting to vote for him by like 5 days. That was a bummer.
The only thing I want to piggyback on that 1976 when Carter ran for president. That's the only Democrat I've ever voted for. I was in the 4th grade.
You had like a class vote?
Yeah.
For Carter?
And I just thought he was cool because he was from Georgia, which is the state I was born in.
Peanut farm.
And he had peanuts, right? And he had that cool brother, Billy.
Billy Beer, which
Beer.
they made such a big deal out of back then. Oh, it was so awful. Look at the stuff they're doing now. You got presidents admitting, like I think Obama admitted, like doing cocaine and everything else, and Billy Beer was like awful back then.
Everyone has a history, right? Everyone has a past.
Well, Carter, for me, I didn't have any problem with him until he'd been in there for a few years.
Right.
And I was a young kid. That was kind of my first taste of politics. Was I just remember our country just seemed like depressed, or like there was a black cloud over it. I remember I can remember the lines for gas.
Yeah, well, that was oil issues, the Iran stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
the
hostages, Iran stuff. Yeah, all that.
And I'm out running around playing with my friends and stuff. So, but I was aware of it, and then I remember like this grandpa kind of happy guy coming in out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
Ross Perot.
See him, Ronald Reagan was just completely opposite.
Yeah.
He brought like this, we can do this, like hope, like he was like, you had hope for our country. And as soon as he came in, everything turned around.
Yeah.
The hostages got released. Everything was great.
If you go back and look at some of his old, like the videos of him and some of his speeches and some of his interviews and stuff, President Reagan.
Yeah,
man, he to me. I mean, maybe there is a difference, but he is a lot like President Trump, right?
Yeah.
He just called it. He called it.
Right.
He shot from the hip, right?
Yeah.
He didn't sugarcoat anything.
Yeah.
He called you out.
Yeah, with a
And that was
smile
the
on
way
his
it was.
face.
Because he spoke truth,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He spoke truth.
Yeah.
So
He just
You
had
gotta
such a
respect
great
that.
demeanor. They called him the great communicator.
Yeah, the
'cause he
great
could
communicator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There he is up there. Ronald Reagan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the only thing before he left, he kind of
Are you doing that behind the scenes? Oh, that's cool. We got Ron's beautiful wife working behind the scenes. She's doing all that cool ass shit.
Yeah, he made a major mistake as he was leaving at some point before he left, where there was a bunch of illegal immigrants running around California, and he made them all what's the word I'm looking for?
Indoctrinated them or something?
Yeah, no, he just I don't know if he just made them citizens or whatever, but it changed California forever.
He's like, I'm out. I don't care. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's like you pull, the old like, oh, you're pulling up the ladder behind you so nobody else can climb it.
Yeah.
No other Republicans.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's even come close to winning California since he did that, because it completely changed California blue, and it probably will be forever now. Which is, they got a ton of electoral votes, although that's changing a little bit because everyone's leaving California and running to Texas and Florida and all these other places.
And hopefully, and that's why they're going to de-zone Texas, or rezone Texas.
Yes,
right?
redistrict.
So redistrict, redistrict Texas, my great home state.
They are throwing a fit over it. And the ones that are throwing a fit, when you look at all, they call it gerrymandering, but you look at like Illinois and some of these places.
Yeah.
In order to keep, because they've been doing this forever. There's actually a couple of states that have. I didn't know that. I think it's.
I just learned this week.
Is it Maryland? It's one of those over there that they have no representatives, no Republican ones,
right?
Because their maps are
way
like they're like little snaky rivers.
The way they created it, the way they what's the word I'm looking? They manipulated the zoning, right?
Yep.
In their favor.
Yep. And so they've set it up to where, and in some of these places, there's still a huge population of conservatives, but they have no voice because of the way, and it's really hard to ever change that because you have to win in these crazy districts where they did that, and if they've set it up to where you can't win there, you can never get in power to change it around.
Exactly.
So Texas is and they're saying, oh, you only do this every 10 years with the census. There's actually no law or rule about that. You can do it anytime you want. And so Texas is like, because they keep asking, well, why are you doing it right now? Because we can. Why not? But Democrats, they said, are probably going to lose maybe up to 5 seats. So that's why
that's huge.
Boo-hoo, moaning and crying about it.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And they're like, what like 50 or so representatives have disappeared, or like they don't want it, not going to show up, so they can't. It'll kind of like hinder the process. But now they're like, well, you know what? You don't show up to work, we're just going to prosecute you.
Yeah.
Or whatever they do. The judges or whatever they do.
They should do that because that's crap. I mean, taking your ball and going home with it because you can't win.
I got this theory, and I've been playing with this theory for a while now.
Yeah.
I understand why the Democrats, I'll just call them liberals, don't like President Trump. And I've discovered that liberals have to feed off being a victim. That's the only way they can survive is if they play a victim. And when everything is succeeding like it is right now, everything's going up in a positive way. Things are being changed for the better. They don't have anything to be a victim about.
Nah.
There's no excuse now. So now they just have to try to.
We don't want to be victims.
No.
That annoys us.
No.
I don't want to go
We're
around
the laughing stock of the world.
Yes.
The last 4 years.
But
And in 200 days, it's already flipped.
Yeah.
Now we're the strongest, most fearful power again.
Yeah, and the tariff thing, everyone, I knew that was going to work out okay. Everyone's
awesome.
Even a lot of Republicans that I like were saying, oh, this could really go bad. And now they're saying, it's billions and billions we're bringing in
People are
now.
afraid. It's like, oh, come on, man.
You got to give him a shot.
It's genius.
I think you have to give Trump, who has ultimately been right on damn near everything he's talked about.
Yeah. And more things are coming out that he's been right about, or his people have been right about, right?
It's just, unfortunately, the media goes along with all the crazy, left politicians that accuse him of these things, and then they find out 2, 3, 4 years later, it's all crap.
What's that girl's name? Kelly? Is that her, the White House press secretary?
Oh, the new one. No, it's
whatever her name is.
I'm forgetting her name. The White House press secretary.
The blonde young lady, right?
Yeah.
She today that that CNN lady? That
Caitlin?
Caitlin lady?
Yes.
That dark-haired reporter from CNN.
Yo,
I think her name's Caitlin.
Yeah.
She is looking haggard. She is getting her butt kicked. She looks like she's been fighting Muhammad Ali for the last 3 months. Every day showing up there. Caroline Levitt. Gosh darn, she's awesome, man. She is a badass.
Quick.
She's a badass. Smart,
young,
motivated,
She's
loyal.
got facts right there.
Like unbelievable. Great speaker.
No.
And then Caitlin, I think is her name, the
Caitlin?
CNN lady.
Caitlin,
Oh my
yeah.
God, she's worse. She's just as bad as that short-haired lady. What's that other CNN lady with the short black hair? You know, she has glasses. She's like lesbian.
I don't know. On CNN?
Yeah, she's like.
Is she a reporter? Or
Yeah,
just...
she had. I just saw it. I thought. There you go. Let's see. That's that one that's getting her
Caitlin
butt,
Collins. Yeah,
yeah, she's getting her butt kicked.
She's awful.
Caitlin
she used
Collins.
to be on Fox News.
She is.
She completely flipped.
She continues to. Yeah, I can't remember her name, but she has Lodow or Dow or something like that. Ladow or something like that. Maddow.
Oh, Rachel Maddow.
Rachel Maddow.
MSNBC.
MSNBC. Okay,
Yeah,
Rachel
yeah,
Maddow.
yeah.
She's like her. Like she's like, man, they are just getting hammered and hammered every day they show up.
They're saying she might be getting fired now.
Yeah.
Have you
like
seen all
Whoopi Goldberg?
Did she get officially
Man,
fired?
they got that show's off the air. They got. She
Yeah,
got
they
sued for-
said
by
they're
ca-
going
by
hiatus.
the press secretary, young lady, $800 million lawsuit
Yeah.
for defamation of character or whatever, and she won the lawsuit.
Yeah. They just announced too that Howard Stern's show's been canceled,
Oh,
and he
man.
came super left.
didn't know
and
he still had
hates-
a show.
He hates Trump. He's such a weird guy.
He's goofy.
There's a. Have you heard about the dildos?
Dildos. I didn't know if he said dildos or
No,
dildos.
I said it. The WNBA.
Oh God.
Caitlin Clark.
Is that
she's
the
kind of
All Star? The
Uh,
one that's getting beat up?
no, she's been out for a little while. Well, for whatever reason, somebody tossed a bright green dildo on the court the other day, and everyone thought, it's funny. Now they do it like every game. And they keep trying to catch these people. A couple of them have been caught, but anyway, Howard Stern was sitting at one of the games the other day, and they're saying, "Hey, a fifth dildo just showed up in the court."
When Howard said,
Because he is. He used to be kind of provocative. A lot of people
Yeah.
liked him. But he was
Yeah,
a sick
yeah.
dude, man.
He's
a
not
couple
dumb.
A couple of his guests committed suicide because he Dana Plato from Different Strokes.
Yeah.
She committed suicide because she
Oh
was
my
having a
God.
rough time. She went on a show, and they just dogged her out. The next day, she killed herself. And
Unbelievable.
to this day, everyone says it was because of what happened on that show. So
Yeah.
no, good riddance to
I've
that
never
guy.
been a fan. I mean, really. I mean, I've
No,
never
he
been a
needs to
fan.
go. Stephen Colbert.
Oh God!
they
thank goodness.
cancel
he used to
him.
be cool because he was on Comedy Central.
I didn't mind
remember
him
we
too
used to
much.
watch that.
Yeah.
We used to watch his show on Comedy Central, and he was pretty funny.
Yeah, what he did was I didn't even realize it, but he was sort of playing a character, like a comedy
Yeah.
version of Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah,
So he was
exactly.
kind of supposed to be like that on
Yeah.
there. So he kind of seemed conservative.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
didn't realize he was like
I didn't
super
realize
at the
it.
time, super liberal. And then
Yeah,
he got
I was
his own
totally
show.
blown away
Ooh.
with his own show. I was like,
They
you
say
gotta
he's
be
losing
kidding me.
$40 million a year.
That's
on that.
awesome.
And they're saying, "Oh, Trump got him fired." No, you suck.
Oh, my
You
God.
can't go on there and do the same lame stuff night after night because nobody's watching that junk.
Yeah,
you
that's
can't just
funny.
turn off all your.
Hey, I good riddance. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Good riddance.
So one by one, these guys are, and The View. I don't know if it's been officially, but they did say that they're on hiatus indefinitely,
Yeah,
which
they ain't
usually
coming.
means
They ain't coming back.
right.
They can't
Who
afford
was
to come
even
back.
watching that show?
They
You know what?
had-
I only saw clips of it. That's the only time I saw it. Was when they'd say something
horrendous.
really bad, which was
Horrendous.
all the time. They were they had a lawyer finally sitting in the audience. I don't even know this. That between commercials, because they were constantly saying stuff
Yes.
that wasn't true, and they'd have to come back. Well, we have to read this. That we don't. This. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. They did that. I think twice in one show. I saw someone talking about that.
Well, they got to
'Cause they're
they got
nuts.
it handed to them with this press secretary.
Kathleen, and it's tough because if it's a guy, they can sometimes kind of use that against a guy always being mean to a woman, but. You got nowhere to go with a smart woman up there that isn't going to take your crap.
Her
She's
one
tough.
brain is smarter than all 5 or 4 of their
Yes.
brains.
Well, the one they had before was Biden, the one that kind of looked like a black Krusty the Clown,
my God.
with that crazy hair.
She didn't have a clue.
No, she had that giant book. She'd always, and she.
That's DEI at its finest.
Yes,
DEI
it was.
at
That's
its
exactly
finest,
what it
yeah.
was. Yeah, that was one of the many in that administration. So, but yeah, dude, it's a crazy world out there. And so the reason I kind of thought about doing, the YouTube channel and now doing this, I just kind of felt like I was probably like most conservative people for the last 20, 30, my whole life, years, is that I didn't want to get hassled. and I would talk to my friends about stuff, but I didn't really want to poke my head up too high because IRS will come after you.
Right.
Obama had people after conservative.
Right.
So it's like you just sort of, you didn't want to say too much to the wrong crowd. Even on Facebook, I used to never put anything up there. I just would, I just want to play nice with everybody. But it's like, I felt like we hit a point now where we don't have that luxury anymore. It's like I feel like I have to add my voice to all these other ones out there that are taking shots. And the more people that do this, the more average people like us that are out there saying, yeah, this is how we feel, I think it encourages other people to be strong. And I think we're at a kind of a tipping point, it feels like, because we can't keep doing the stuff we're doing now. We're going to lose this country, what it's always been. So that's why I'm doing this.
Hey, I'm going to be honest. Before President Trump was reelected or elected, man, I'm telling you, the last 4 years, I was scared. I ain't lying. I was.
It was ugly, dude.
I was really scared, right? Living here.
Yeah.
Not like physically scared, but like this. This is not good. This isn't going to end well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing I find real quick before we do what we need to do, but I've been seeing several. I think this is funny. The Tesla vehicles, right? The Tesla cars and the trucks. Okay, I became a fan of Musk, right?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of his.
Yeah.
I don't know the man, but I'm a fan of his for what he's done for
the
monies, the countries. He's smart beyond anyone's belief.
Yup.
But I've been seeing these cars, right? Beautiful little Teslas. I've never been a fan of electric cars, but I'm a fan of his now, just because of him. Well, whoever cares about what happened between him and President Trump? Whatever, that's their business. But they put these stickers on these cars now.
Yeah.
I bought this Tesla before Musk became an idiot, or I don't support Musk, but what is that? You're still buying, you're still putting money in his pocket,
and
right?
That's why this climate change crap doesn't mean anything to them.
Dude, it's goofy. It's goofy. And then what? Is that going to keep someone from keying your Tesla because they saw a sticker on your car? It's like, guys.
He's a liberal like me. He just made a mistake, so he's okay.
He's supporting Musk.
But how great was that they had cameras everywhere on these cars? Person after person after person is like, ooh, looking around, and
dude, Musk is taking him to town, man. It's awesome. It's awesome.
No,
I'm not a fan of electric vehicles or whatever, but
it made me almost think about, that'd be, just to support the guy.
Yeah.
He went a little crazy. He got a little mad at Trump recently. I don't know if you heard all that.
Yeah.
He had a little bit. Trump just the other day, someone asked him about him. He's like, he's a good person.
Yes.
He's like, he just had a rough spell there. I think, things changed real quick for him. And he's used to just, he has all the money in the world. He can kind of make anything happen he wants.
He
can't do that. It doesn't work with politics. You can't just force things.
I mean, come on,
man. And they were, the bill that they passed had some things that were going to adversely affect his company with basically taking away the benefits to buying one and stuff. Yeah. So I think it was a combination of, we don't really need you now, and this, and I think he felt kind of slighted, and he kind of, honestly, I think he lashed out a little bit like a little kid would do. And then Trump is not a good person to do that with, because then he does the same shit. He's like, blah, blah. It was just back and forth, and all of us that liked both of them were like, oh, mom and dad are fighting. It was awful. It's like, but it looks like it's all water under the bridge now. Everything's back to normal. And
I'm gonna try a joke.
Okay.
I heard this joke this morning. It's about Elon Musk.
Okay. All
right. As told by Bob, he's a friend of ours at Starbucks here in town. He's 87 years old, right? And we sit in this little circle at Starbucks in the morning.
An 87-year-old guy told you this joke?
Yeah, my wife and I, and we have these older. We just very nice, right?
Okay.
You guys have to check it out.
All right.
But his name's Bob, so he comes in, which trips me out. He's a retired Air Force guy.
Yeah.
He can't stand Trump. It irritates the living hell out of me. He hates Trump.
The 87-year-old?
Yes. But my mom's 91 and she's a diehard Democrat.
Okay.
So maybe that's a generational thing.
Yeah, my mom was
because
too.
Democrats were different back when they were in their 40s and 30s and 40s. So
well, JFK would probably not even get elected by Democrats right now.
So the whole thing is that it's just different. But so here's the joke. Here's go. So Elon Musk, was born in South Africa.
Yep.
He should have been born in Madagascar. 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 Madagascar.
This 87-year-old told you that? Did he make that up?
No,
or?
he gets them sent to him by his sister or somebody on the phone every morning.
And he
The
told
dad
you-
jokes. I think they're funny.
That's a good one, man.
Yeah, I just bought Neil Diamond's car on eBay, actually.
What?
Yeah, I just bought Neil Diamond's car on eBay. It was a sweet car online. Sweet car online. That was another Bob joke. Sweet Caroline, car online. Yeah. Okay.
If this isn't successful, I don't know what would be.
Hey,
I mean,
you know,
this is gold right here.
I got a new dog. We got a new dog, right? We just named it 5 Mile. So I can tell people I walk 5 miles twice a day. That's another Bob joke. Anyway, enough of that.
Anyone listening to this, feel free to use these in your own life.
Yeah, there's a great dad jokes. But yeah, simple life, simple pleasures,
Yeah.
uncomplicated, right? Family, moral value, moral compass, right? True to your convictions.
Yep.
Yeah,
and there's nothing
whatever
wrong
they
with
are.
that. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that. You don't
whatever they
have
are.
to live a crazy life. You don't have to be hateful all the time. You know, that's what bothers me about the guys on the other side of the aisle. They just seem hateful, man. They just
so
hate everything.
angry.
Yes.
You can see it on their face. Like they look hard.
And they're scared of death, big time.
Yeah.
I don't want to just like get maimed and killed in a car accident. I don't want to do that, but I'm not scared of it because the next place is going to be way better.
We believe.
Yeah.
We have faith.
Yeah. And for those of you, one of my favorite guys, there's Phil Robertson bobblehead up there, if you can see him. Love Phil. Been listening to him for years. He passed away, this year. But his big thing was Phil was a ginormous sinner. He said it all the time. I've got all of his books. He talked at length. He had no problem talking about it.
Yeah.
But
That's how you get healed.
Yes, he turned it all around, and for people that think like, oh, I can't do that because I've done all this crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his example was the Apostle Paul, who was like killing Christians for a living, basically,
cutting their heads off,
Yes.
stoning them
He was anything we've
for
done
a living.
that
was his livelihood.
Yeah, anything we've ever done doesn't compare to that at all, or most people that might be listening to this. So, God, you can get over that hump. I mean, you might be in prison. He said it to the prisoners, like you might be in prison, you can't leave, but that doesn't mean you can't be free.
Yeah.
You can still be free and with
Absolutely.
God in your life, and so it's something that people just it's there. And
Man,
why not?
It's free for the taking.
Yes, and again, Phil Robertson, he's like, what do you got to lose?
Absolutely everything to gain.
Right.
You got a lot to lose.
Right.
If you don't.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you're just the people that think you're just going to die and you're going to go in the ground and it's just blackness. Why even want to?
Why would we be here? Right.
Yes.
What would be
There's gotta be more
the
of
bigger
that.
picture here?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I and if you don't believe in anything like that, you would be scared.
Yeah.
Literally to
Absolutely.
death. Of death. And your day in and out each day is probably going to be miserable because you don't. Why are you even living? I mean, what do you? It's just for, so you can go to Starbucks. I mean, buy some new car. Is that?
Yeah.
None of that stuff matters. It really doesn't.
Can't take it with you.
No, we're just killing time until we go back to the home office. One day. So, that's where I finally landed. It took me a while. I've had twists and turns and bumps and bruises. And
You're the one who, when I moved into you the last time, 2005.
Yeah.
When I was going through a divorce. With my daughter's mom. You're the one who introduced me to. You said your brother would go to this particular church in town.
Yeah.
And I started going to that same particular church, and I was there for about 10 years. I ended up getting baptized there in 2012.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in 2012. And it wasn't that point per se but that was like you had that you had that tipping point where the journey started to begin.
Yeah.
And I said this earlier in the podcast, is like, I don't give God his due, right? I need to give him more what he deserves. He deserves everything. I don't dictate what he deserves. He deserves everything.
Yeah.
But I need to do my part as well.
Yeah. A lot of people get hung up on basically worshiping the created and not the creator.
And that's
like, oh, all this my house, my life, travel, all this stuff. That's fun stuff, but that's that's just created human crap that
and
you're not taking with you.
And Jesus is our Savior, right?
Yeah.
If you believe. But Jesus came down preaching the Word of God. He was trying to focus us on His Father God, right? So
he was cutting right to the chase. A lot of the stuff that had been around prior to that, he's like, this is where you need to focus.
Man.
You do these things. But yeah, I encourage anybody that's struggling, or just because I was at that place. I think everyone gets there at some point where your life suddenly takes a weird turn and you don't know what to do. That's a great place to land. And you can do that anywhere. There's like churches all over the place. There's always going to be somebody in your life probably that can help you out with that, so but it can change your life. It changed mine.
Absolutely. You do definitely get peace.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Yeah. You're just calmer.
Definitely get peace.
Just when you're not worried about the sky falling all the time. If this, I mean, we still get stressed. We still get frustrated with stuff sometimes.
We still have our wives yelling at us.
That's my one thing. That's we could talk about I'll talk about pretty much anything, but anything that might get me in trouble in that department. That's probably your thinking too. Let's not talk about this thing or that thing. Although I have been mostly perfect my whole life, but
you've been close.
Yeah,
I got you beat by.
And she's nodding her head yes over there. So
that looks like a no to me. But you see yours, I see mine.
Anyways, this was cool, man. We've probably done as much damage as maybe we want to do for today, and then we'll try it again next time and keep going. We're charting new territory. We're like Columbus, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Marita over there.
Marita. I like Jacques Cousteau better. Can I be Jacques Cousteau?
Can I be Jacques Cousteau? But yeah, that's.
Yeah, man, that was cool because it's like we covered a bunch of different things we don't know what the hell we're talking. We know what we're talking about. We just don't know why we're talking about it per se today. Yeah. But then we can just kind of go from there.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I don't think anybody should be afraid to say their opinions in this country. I mean, there's a limit. With if you're threatening people and stuff, but people should be able to just say, I don't like what's happening. I mean, maybe I don't like all the taxes, or I don't like it. You should be able to say it without fear of the IRS ruining you, or whatever. So I'm at that point now. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, and I'm probably in that. If it was a football game, I'm getting pretty close to the fourth quarter. We're the same age, so it's like you can't. How much are you going to hurt me at this point, anyways? I mean, I whatever. So
are you going to follow football this year?
No, I've been out ever since.
Forever.
Yeah, ever since Colin Kaepernick took a knee, almost right around there. It ruined it for me. And right at the same time, a lot of the rule changes. Like you brush a quarterback's head, or get too close to him within a foot. It's
tackle them.
Yeah, it just seemed like I like the '70s where Terry Bradshaw was being picked up and dumped on his head. I mean, that was football.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a few things, and I watched the Super. I was the biggest Chiefs fan.
I know you were.
There wasn't anyone bigger, and I had a relative in town. He just joined the Air Force, so he was here getting some training, and he came over and it was during the Super Bowl, so he came over and hung out with us. I didn't even know how to get it on because I had been so.
That's what your wife said. Sorry, guys.
Well, I eventually figured it out. It takes a while when you're almost 60.
Trick pony.
Trick pony. But but we got it. I think we watched it on Tubi, that free thing.
Yeah.
And
we watched it.
It was the first football game I'd watched in probably like 10 years or maybe almost. Yeah. And
was it the Chiefs?
It was the Chiefs and Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles won. Yeah.
And again, I hadn't watched it for years, and I was like, what is happening? Like from the kickoff.
Yeah.
The kickoff is all weird now.
They didn't. It's like they don't play. They don't run. I
can't remember what it was, but apparently there were people they think are going to hurt each other because they're running so fast at each other. It's like it's football. What?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Everything was weird.
That came into play, I think, last year because I was like, I don't understand why are they just standing around.
Yeah, and I guess they changed overtime. That's different. Yeah. A lot of changes, but I think the punt was weird. I think
the punts are weird. Like they don't. You can't rush them. I don't even know. Yeah, there's weirdness. It's just weird.
After not watching it for almost a decade, it didn't make me, like I was talking about with that dopey movie. It didn't I watch it now. I'm like sucked back in because I actually when I stopped watching it took a while. I was like getting off a drug. It was a little weird not watching it. But after I did, I was like, man, I got all this.
Because I know you were a huge fan because you used to go to a local place in town on Sundays and watch football.
Yep.
and
all the people.
religiously, you know.
Yep, I'd watch it. You know, I get up early on Sundays. I watch like the pregame show.
Yeah.
I'd
Oh, yeah.
watch. I'd watch.
Yeah.
You know, other teams play. It was basically all day. But man, when you stop it, all of a sudden you have so much time. You know, and I got to where I don't miss it at all anymore.
Yeah,
and I kind of thought,
I
wonder if this is going to drag me back into it.
I don't
But
watch it.
after watching how the game is now,
It's boring to me.
it made me like, okay, that was a good decision. That's how I felt. It didn't make me want to watch it again.
My
It's
wife-
still very popular.
It is. My wife and I'll be watching. We'll turn it on, right?
Yeah.
We don't have a team or anything that we per se follow, but my God, 5 minutes into it, like now we're on Home and Garden's channel. We'd rather watch home
and Garden.
makeover shows than it's just
Yeah.
it's way more interesting.
Yeah, I'm with you,
Yeah.
man. But yeah, we'll pick it up next time, I guess. But yeah, that's I think we've like I said, done so much damage as maybe we can today. Time to send it to the internet.
Oh,
and,
God help you all. God help you all.
and we'll see it next time. All right, brother. I think we're done.